Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to Synthetic Oil Protection. My name is Eben. On this YouTube channel, what we do is we talk about how to exponentially protect your vehicle so it lasts 2 to 4 times longer than using original equipment fluids. So if you're new to the channel, definitely consider subscribing. Today we're going to be working on a 2004 24-hour LeMans Edition 6-speed manual Corvette. This is my personal car. It's my all-time favorite car for the money, and I've been driving it now for about 4 years. And I did the stainless braided brake lines all around. And what that does is they don't stretch as much, and when the brake line stretches, you get extra push in the pedal, and you lose your brake feel. So after doing that, much improvement. Car runs absolutely perfecto. But when I changed the brake lines, I actually didn't tighten one of the connections as tight as I should have, because whenever there's small threads, I don't like to over tighten stuff. I've already stripped things before, so I really like to be careful, and I actually didn't tighten it enough. And after about 3 to 6 months, it slowly started to leak brake fluid. So now there's air in my reservoir, and today we're going to be using a vacuum pump to actually bleed the brake line. I've never tried it before. I can do it all by myself. So I'm going to give it a shot and see how good they work. All right, let's kick it off. I'm going to go ahead and suck out all the old brake fluid, and you'll see this brake fluid is really black, and the oxygen actually oxidizes the brake fluid, and you definitely don't want that to be in there, because it'll really the oxidation can actually corrode your brake system, and it can actually make the rubbers crack sooner. So you definitely want to get any really dark brake fluid out if your brakes are like that. So now we just go ahead and suck it out. Should just suck right into this little reservoir right in the middle. So here we go, let's give it a shot. My first time ever using one of these things. I've never used it before. Wow, really easy. Oh, and you know what the best part of this thing is? You don't even have to take this off at all to actually drain it. All you do is you just push this little lever in, and when you hold it up, it just comes right out, which is really nice. Really clean, other than when you spill like that. But if you don't pull it out, and that's it, it's that easy. All right, good to go. All right, so we got as much of the brake fluid out as we can. There's another reservoir that goes back here that holds like maybe 2-3 ounces, and you can't actually get to it. You could probably get to it if you take stuff off, but we're not going to be taking major components off. So we're going to be putting in our .3, .4 brake fluid. And what this is this is a synthetic brake fluid that flows really good at cold temperature. And it also has really good stability under high heat, so it doesn't boil. And when the fluid boils, it can actually put oxygen into the system. Because when you boil, you have a vaporization, and there's always a little bit of moisture in the system with condensation, and you know, nothing's ever perfectly sealed. So we're just filling it all the way up. And that's about 1 bottle right there. All right. So now we're going to go ahead, throw on our cap, and we're going to go ahead and take off the furthest brake line first. Is the one we're going to bleed, the furthest from the reservoir. So we're going to go to the back right of the car. We're going to take the wheel off. We're going to bleed that line first. That's the longest line. Then we go to the second longest line, then the third longest line, and then the fourth. So we're headed to the furthest back first. So we got done doing our first brake line, and I couldn't find any attachments that were airtight, except this little teeny nozzle. And what it does is it actually sticks right into the inside of the basically the bleeder screw. And it's so soft, this plastic, it actually pressure fits right in, and there's no air bubbles. So I pulled all that gunk out of there. I'm going to go ahead and drain it just like before. Basically just hold it straight up, and that's it. Tinkle tinkle. So yeah, it's just really easy to drain, and we'll be back, and I'm going to suck it out until it comes clear. All right. So to show you guys what I'm talking about is I take this little teeny piece, this little tip, and I went right on ahead and you just stick it right here, right into the bleeder screw. And it's super soft plastic and it really doesn't come out. Like right now, it'll take 10 pounds to pull that out. It sticks that much. And I didn't get any air bubbles or anything. So now I'm gonna go ahead and bleed it again until it runs clear. We're on our second bottle of brake fluid. And you always wanna make sure you double check this as you're bleeding the brakes. Bleeding the brakes. My tongue covered my eye tooth and I couldn't see what I was saying. So, but yeah, you have to make sure you keep filling it up, because if you don't, you can run it dry, and then once you run it dry, you'll actually get air bubbles in the system. And once air goes in your lines, then you'll have a mushy pedal again, and then the fluid will oxidize. So when I was bleeding it, I think there were a little bit of air bubbles that were pulling through the bleeder screw because I didn't put Teflon tape on it. But I don't think the actual air is going to go back up the line, because as you're pulling the fluid out, it's only one direction. So the only way for air to get in the line is if air actually goes in the reservoir, which it's not going to. It's not going to run all the way down for air to get in. So as long as that's topped off, you should be good. And after we get all four corners done, I'm going to go drive it and see how the pedal feels, because I can feel it exactly compared to when I bled it the first time, then when I got air in it now, and then after. So I'll tell you if those little air bubbles that go through the line, if they're actually in there. I don't think they are, but until I drive it and feel it, I don't know. So we'll be back. So we got our nozzle in, and this nozzle still works pretty good. Same nozzle as before. It's real pointy, and I'll show you what it looks like. It's that little teeny nozzle, and you just stick it right in, and the pressure fits right inside. Seems to be holding up pretty good. And then you just go ahead and just pump it up to pressure, which I had it up at what, 25 pounds. So you just keep pumping like that, pump it up, and then once you get it up, then all you do is go ahead and open this screw, and it should come right out. You just open the bleeder screw. Oh, this is a little, oh, there you go. I was fooled. Thought it was a different size at first. So there we go. So it's coming out. Just keep pumping her up. And that's it. You just suck it all out and see it coming out. All right. We'll be back once it's all done. Now I'm going to go ahead and put my wheel on, but before I do, I'm going to put on MP metal protector. And what this is this is a lubricant spray, and it drives out moisture from bolts, and it also keeps your metal from rusting, and it also keeps it very lubricated. So I hit all my threads like this, and then hitting the little part that rusts, and that's it. That's all you have to do. Wheel nice and clean. And another thing I like about MP is when you have all the spray on here, it really slides on easy. Just with that extra metal protector, slides on super easy. And then the other thing is, once it's on, it's super easy to thread it. So the threads go like butter. Boom, one. Boom, two. I mean, three. Just super smooth. And so not only is the metal protectant great at actually protecting the metal, but it makes your job so much easier on hinges, anything. I mean, I'm going to show you how far in these are in a second. So that's, see how easy that is to move that? Watch this. Watch this. Here, here, and there. Watch. Look at that. It's that tight already. The threads just go on that smooth. So that's why I love the metal protectant. All right. All right, guys, we're all wrapped up on my 2004 24-hour LeMans Edition 6-speed manual Corvette, and everything went smooth. I still like bleeding the brakes with two people. It feels a lot more comfortable for me. You know, I think this method's fine if you don't have anybody to help you, but that's pretty much it. Answer a couple questions you guys might have. You might say, Eben, how do you have a Corvette? How old are you? Well, I'm 29 years old, and how I got my Corvette is I used to work at the #1 Honda dealership here in Las Vegas. And I worked there for about 11 months, and I saved quite a bit of cash. Didn't make much money there at all, but I don't really spend any money. So I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't waste money on stuff. So, you know, I still have a lot of fun, though. You might say, even if you don't drink or smoke, what do you do? Well, I still have a lot of fun, but, you know, I really enjoy my car and had it for about 4 years, and I've done sway bars on it. So it grips a lot better, more like a Z06. I've done a cold air intake on it. I've done catback exhaust. And, you know, a lot of people say, well, why is it your all-time favorite car? Well, some of the reasons I like it the most is because of the handling. It's got a 50-50 weight distribution. It also gets great gas mileage. It gets 32.9 highway miles a gallon at 69 miles an hour. I average about 21.5 miles a gallon average with it. And it's a 180 mile an hour car. It does a 4.5 seconds 0 to 60. I mean, like I said, the handling is amazing with the Toyo T1 Proxy Sport tires. There's a lot more grip than an OEM C5 Corvette. Between the tire and sway bar, the grip is just totally next level. And then, of course, I also have the Bilstein shocks. So when you hit ribs, like, you know, macadam or anything concrete that's all ribs, when you're going, you know, any speed, sometimes the Corvettes jump around, and a lot of people don't like that, and I don't like that either. But when you have the Bilstein shocks, it sucks up all that bumps, and it keeps the tire on the ground. And when the tire's on the ground, you have control. So that's some of the stuff about the car. The power with the tune and the intake and the exhaust is very small. It's about 370 horsepower, and the torque is about 410 pound-feet of torque. It's geared pretty tall, so if you did shorter gears, you could get to a 4-second flat 0 to 60, but with the taller gearing, it'll only do a 4.5 second 0 to 60. And for me, I'm more about the handling than so much from a dig. I'm not really into drag racing and stuff, so, you know, I just love the way the car drives and feels. The only car I've ever driven better than this car is a 2015 458 Italia Ferrari, and that's the only car I've ever driven better. I've driven Audis, Porsches, BMWs, Maseratis, Bugattis, Mercedes. I've driven tons and tons of cars, and the only one that just grabs me, I'm talking grab me, was the 458 Italia Ferrari. But other than that, this is still my all-time favorite car for the money, and I'll probably have it for quite a bit of while. All right. Oh, one more thing I almost forgot. If you really enjoy these videos, it means a lot to me if you can give them a thumbs up, and also if you have a question, you can leave a comment below. I really appreciate you guys. We'll see you guys back next time. And if you really enjoy my channel, if you're not subscribed yet, you're more than welcome to subscribe. It's free to subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. You just click the little subscribe button, you hit the notification bell, and that way when I do another video, it'll come up on your YouTube feed, and you'll see my next video that pops up. All right, we'll see you guys back next time on synthetic oil protection. Thanks, guys.